turn on your notification bell. You will still get those information you are looking for.
A letter written by Queen Elizabeth II lies hidden in a vault in Australia, and it can be opened for another 63 years, has been found. Yes, the letter is said to have been signed by Queen Elizabeth II and is addressed to the Right and Honourable Lord Mayor of Sydney, Australia. The letter was written in November 1986, put inside a glass case inside a restricted area in the building's dome. That's the Queen's personal staff don't even know what it contains. Yes, the Queen's personal staff don't even know what the letter contains. So the letter is currently safekeeping. Yes, it's in safekeeping in the city's historic Queen Victoria building. It was handwritten. Yes, it was handwritten and was addressed to the people of Sydney, of course. So the instruction was that it said, "Greetings. On a suitable day to be selected by you in the year 2085 AD, would you please open this envelope and convey to the citizens of Sydney my message to them?" Yes, according to the information, the Queen Victoria building was opened in 1898 and was named in honor of the then Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. That is where the letter was hidden. Yes, the vault where the letter was hidden is inside the Queen Victoria's building in Australia. So it happened that Australia was once a part of British Empire. Yes, it was part of British Empire. So, but they later got their independence, of course, like every other country, even in Africa. So, but it was on January 26, 1788 that Captain Arthur Phillip guides a fleet of 11 British ships carrying convicts to the colony of New South Wales, effectively founding Australia. Yes, it was formerly known as New South Wales before it was known now as Australia. So after overcoming a period of hardship, the fledgling colony began to celebrate the anniversary of this date with great fanfare, and it eventually became commemorated as Australia Day. But in recent times, Australia Day has become increasingly controversial as it marks the start of when the continent's indigenous people were gradually dispossessed of their land as white colonization spread across the continent. So, but Australia, once known as the New South Wales, was originally planned as a penal colony. Yes, a penal colony. But it was in October 1786 the British government appointed Arthur Phillip captain of the HMS Sirius and commissioned him to establish an agricultural work camp there for British convicts. So, with little idea of what he could expect from the mysterious and distant land, Philip had great difficulty assembling the fleet that was to make the journey. His request for more experienced farmers to assist the penal colony was repeatedly denied, and he was both poorly funded and outfitted. Nonetheless, accompanied by a small contingent of Marines and other officers, Philip led his 1,000-strong party, of whom more than 700 were convicts, around Africa to the eastern side of Australia. In all, the voyage lasted 8 months, claiming the deaths of some 30 men. Now, the first years of settlement were nearly disastrous, caused with poor soil and unfamiliar climate and workers who were ignorant of farming. Philip had great difficulty keeping the men alive. So the colony was on the verge of outright starvation for several years, and the Marines sent to keep order were not up to the task. Philip, who proved to be a tough but fair-minded leader, persevered by appointing convicts to positions of responsibility and oversight. Floggings and hangings were commonplace, but so was egalitarianism. Yes, egalitarianism. As Philip said before leaving England, I quote, "In a new country there will be no slavery, and hence no slaves." So though Philip returned to England in 1792, the colony became prosperous by the turn of the 19th century. Feeling a new sense of patriotism, the men began to rally round. Around January 26, as their founding day, historian Manning Clark noted that in 1808, the men observed the anniversary of the foundation of the colony with drinking and merriment. But in 1818, January 26 became an official holiday marking the 30th anniversary of British settlement in Australia. As Australia became a sovereign nation, it became the national holiday known as Australia Day. So this is Australia and the British. Yes. So that is why even up until this moment, the British monarch is Australia's head of state. And although Republican sentiment continues to bubble, but it was under the surface. Then in 1999 referendum, that was when Australians voted to retain the Queen as their head of state. Yes, Queen Elizabeth had visited the country while alive 16 times. Her first visit was in 1954. That's 2 years after she ascended the throne after the death of her father. But on Sunday, King Charles III was officially named monarch in Australia and New Zealand in tandem ceremonies marking his ascension to the throne. So this is it. But it is not the same in Africa. Yes, it's not the same in Africa as the people of the African continent colonized by Britain, known as Anglophone countries today. They still believe that Britain has done disservice to them. Yes, and that is why people are still saying in Africa today that the British have to compensate Africa for the colonization. Because Africa has deemed the colonization as an affront, an invasion of sorts to their enclaves, trying to rob them of their culture. Today it is seen in Africa that British came to Africa and they destroy the African culture, they destroy the African heritage, cultural heritage, and even made away with some of the artifacts, which some of them, or few of them, has been returned to Africa. Yes, the recent return to Nigeria being the one they called Okoko, yes, Okoko, to the British, to the kingdom of Benin, kingdom of Benin. It was returned to the Benin kingdom. Yes, the Okoko was returned to the kingdom of Benin from Europe. So not only Britain, but European in generally, the colonialism or colonization of Europe, of Africa by Europeans, have been seen as disservice in Africa. So that's why Africa still hopes and seeks for compensation from Europeans for what they did in their land. Yes, that's why the people in the Negritude movement in Africa, which seeks to present the history and the people of the narratives of the Africans in African perspective, rather than how the Europeans have actually tried to present Africa. So Africa has believed that if the Europeans did not come, they would have developed and they would have civilized in their own way and retaining their culture, their heritage or cultural heritage, retaining their own, everything about Africanness. And that's why we're talking about the Pan-African today. Yes. So that is it. But in Australia, it is not the same. So who knows what is written in that letter? Australia and the Queen and the British people, they still have a very cordial relationship. Though all the African countries are still in the Commonwealth of Nations, but Commonwealth has not lived up to its bidding and expectations, as people who are from these Commonwealth countries, particularly in Africa, still struggle through rigorous ways, very painstaking ways and rigorous processes to obtain visa to UK, whereas they are in Commonwealth of Nations. So these are the points and these are the concerns of Africans. Talking about colonization, Britain, even as the Queen Elizabeth II of the blessed memory, is being laid to rest.